Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dice Dropping's Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game, Chronicles of House Weirlight. Say hello, House Weirlight.
Hi.
Hello.
Ladies' night.
Mm-hmm.
It is, once again, it's ladies' night here on Dice Dropping, which is a very frequent occurrence, quite honestly.
You love it.
I do. I do. Of course I do. I'm sad once again we are not joined by the brothers Weirlight. Such is the life. Such busy men always off doing something.
Who knows? Maybe at one point in time you'll have a boys' night.
Boys' night?
A boys'
Just-
night.
Just me. Just me,
you,
Jesse, and David. Yeah. Oh, I bet that'll be that'd
An interesting session.
be a weird session for sure. Oh man, I'd have to whip out something real weird.
The brothers Weirlight.
The brothers Weirlight, man. That's what they are. All right. So last time we saw everyone, Henric had a vision, a very how would you describe it, Henric?
Jarring doesn't seem to capture the utter terrifyingness of that vision of seeing my fiance, dead and her rotting corpse coming to life and trying to send me a message. So, just bad, I think. Just generally bad. The whole
Bad.
night.
All right.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then of course him having an utter fit.
that really
In
just
front
topped it
of
off.
not only his future wife, but his future wife's family. Luckily, since both the Ashford and normally in Westeros, the two marrying families would only come the day the wedding was to begin, essentially, and the festivities to begin and have the joint feast and then all that stuff. However, both the Weirlights and the Ashfords have never been families really gave much of a shit about tradition, and were families who far more cared about the efficiency of things. Therefore, they've been in contact for a long time, and they're here early to help establish everything, because this must be agreed upon between the heads of the Ashford and Weirlight family, the greatest wedding the Reach has seen in millennia. So, and if it's not, then will be a complete failure. Luckily, you have the budget of the Ashfords not inconsiderable sum of money. But due to the early meeting of dinner, luckily no guests were there. However, seeing that has shaken many of the members of the family and members of the Ashfords, and might have some damage control to do to see if this can go on as planned. Henric was rushed away. Earlier besides that, we were just sort of catching up with everyone, seeing the progression, everything's going, and mainly with Clarissa and Thurston, realizing that something needs to be done, and it needs to be done soon before the wedding vows are exchanged. Lest something befall Ashella and thus the house. Also, there's a background thing that maybe it'd be really bad if Teodric died right now. Which, I mean, I don't know why I would bring that up. He just survived a war. He's gonna be fine, right?
Yeah, why on earth would Teodric die?
No, nothing. Why would
exactly?
Why would I even bring it up?
He's about to see like me. His
Why
son
would
get
I even
married?
bring
I
it
don't
up?
know why. Why would you talk about that, Tony? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Why would you bring that up?
No, and he's not here, right? So he can't die off screen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's rude.
Yeah.
Wow, my nerves just
At least have the courtesy to kill him to his face.
I mean,
have a talk?
You don't know what
Calm
Jesse and I
down,
do.
okay?
You don't know what Jesse and I do after these games.
Oh,
If I don't record it, dude.
Do you have a boys' night and not tell us? Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know.
They have their own separate little thread.
Mhm. Who knows? Maybe. Yes, but lots of progress was made towards a unified and good wedding. Tedric secured a excellent deal and trade agreement between them and the Ashford lands that will really monopolize a lot of things in the Reach for them. Some of the other houses will not be super jazzed when they hear about this, but who cares about them? They're little bitches.
Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them. You know what? What
Are they
what
part
do
of the
got?
Big Five? No, who cares?
No, who cares? You know what cares? What Cordwainer? Get out of here.
Oop.
Bulwer? Get out of here. Florent? No one even likes
Beesbury?
you.
What?
Yep.
I do remember
Beesbury.
specifically only the Beesbury girl. That's it.
There's a lot. Yeah, we've met a boy Beesbury. He's
Yeah.
one of Nymora's friends.
Yes, he is.
Well, we've met
He's
him.
a nice man.
I also danced with another Beesbury boy.
You did.
But yeah, Beatrice Beesbury was
Yes.
rather entertaining on the birthday excursion.
It is Raymond Beesbury, I believe.
Yes, your friend is Sir Raymond Beesbury.
Who I have listed just as a bro in my notes.
Bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just
That's fine.
I have Sir Raymond Beesbury, bro. Sir Eustace Weber, pretty man. Sir Alias Varner, giant man.
Mhm.
Sir Byron Fossaway, the red one.
The red one.
Apt.
Indeed.
All apt.
Yep. And then of course there was Beanie.
Yeah.
Beanie Beesbury. Who is Raymond's sister. There's many Beesburys we have met. They are a minor house, but they share a border with you guys. So you guys kind of see it. Your small folks see each other a lot. And you can identify because it's all red on one side and the other side it's just all apiaries and yellow. So it's just like you wave. Wave. And then there's gonna be like, don't be mess with these Beesbury girls. You know, there's a whole sub game of peasants out there about the borderlands, but we don't care. We
that.
care about all the different houses that might be coming to this wedding.
Yes.
That they will be showing up very soon, and we have to deal with kind of this crisis because the family is only now aware that something is wrong with Henric. He had some kind of fit. They've never seen this before. This is very strange. What is even going on? While quietly, Clarissa and Thorsten, I guess right now mainly Clarissa, have a second panic thing that they have to deal with because they know exactly why the fit is happening and know that to explain it would be difficult to say the least. Therefore, probably will have to come up some kind of excuse. And then have to obviously deal with whatever is to come. So, we will open this evening with a very strange scene. We see a remote like road in the somewhere. There's mist. It's night. There's kind of mist clinging to several areas, and there is a like an old looks like roadhouse in essentially. Inside is dark. It's obviously closed up for the night. There's no bartender. There's no anything. It's just a man at a table with a single candle lit. And the door opens and 3 other men walk in. We didn't really get to see the man at the table, but the 3 men who walk in, they are tall. They have kind of tannish, like pocked faces. They do not look well kempt. They are wearing leathers, definitely of like a fighting sort. They carry weapons at their belt. The one leading them, his hair looks bleached from salt. Blasted. We recognize these look like Iron Men, the Ironborn from the Iron Islands. They come and sit down at a table with this figure. The one with the salt blasted hair. It goes, all right. We've all set up. We've all understood what we're doing. When are we doing this? Been waiting for too damn long. Why the fuck do I have to meet you here? We don't see the figure, but we see like the back of them. They have some kind of cloak on with a hood up. It is definitely a very masculine voice. And you just hear, don't worry, everything will happen soon. So your men in position? Yeah, they're in position. You better fucking deliver. Don't worry. And then he just stops and cocks his head. And he goes, did you hear that? He goes, you're bullshit? No. Yeah, I've been hearing that for quite a bit too fucking long. And he goes, no. Like, you idiot. And then he just stops. And the men, we kind of see the men's faces like look at him strangely. And the man just starts coughing rather profusely. And then suddenly falls off from his like chair, and knocks over the glass he was drinking from. It falls onto the table. He starts coughing profusely, and the men stand up and pull out weapons and look. They don't pull out weapons, but they stand up, look concerned. And the man then suddenly stops coughing and moving on the ground. The man with the salt blasted hair quickly goes, what the? And then we see his two men behind him. We just see hands come out from under them and just slit their throats. He turns, wheels with a weapon out, like comes out and looks like he slams one of these assailants in the shoulder, gets them good, but two others come from behind and stab him from the back. Another one stabs him from the center, and the one he got in the shoulder pulls it out, stands to a taller height, pulls out what looks like a notched, spiked club, and just buries it into his head, killing all of these men. And there's all these men kind of robed in kind of black almost. They all look at each other, nod, and begin like grabbing the corpses and pulling them outside and throwing them on what looks like a bigger pile of men who look like more Ironborn who may be outside. As a lot of these men go to start throwing them in, the injured one sits down and kind of looks at his wound, nods to another one. Another one writes something by candlelight on a piece of paper, and we see them go over to a cart with ravens, ties that sends the best ravens, and the raven is released. We follow the raven all the way as it lands at what looks like Theolden Hall. A message is being delivered. However, right now we're dealing with some other stuff. So Clarissa and Henric, you are currently sat in bed, Henric's bed. Thorsten is there. Orton is there. Currently, everyone else is sort of just outside or being corralled away or something along those lines. And you know, since Henric's okay now, and he's told you what you now know, Clarissa, actions must be taken. You may discuss what you wish to do.
Yeah, I think having just said that it's possible now for them to end this with Henric and the blade, she'll turn
I'm
to
just real
Henric.
confused. Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
there's word of such a blade in the Book of Astwood. We have it now, which is a good thing. But we don't know the specifics of what needs to happen in your dream state. As a
So,
Mhm.
blade from my dream is real?
Well, I wouldn't go so far to say as that.
I mean, Henrik, you do look at your right hand where you held it, and there are marks for where the barbs poked into it.
I mean, it felt real, but it's it's just a dream. It's just
No, I don't imagine it is, really. The last time I ventured out into the ruins, I believed I was going. I was convinced. And I woke up in my bed. So, if the same can be said of this blade, that you believe it's real, your hand is on it, you feel it, it so much as draws your blood, your very important, vastly powerful, allegedly, blood, then who's to say it's not somewhere out there?
slowly pulls my hand back from Clarissa. Oh, okay. But these. I think, regardless if it is tangible, it sounds like I would have to fight this thing in my actual dreams. That's how it's been happening when these visions, attacks, whatever you want to call them, start. I how might I fight this, or like to end this curse? Say, if I don't even know how to get back into this world or this dream that I was in.
Very good question. I don't have answers for you. I could soon, very soon. I
First.
haven't really. Oh, I know. It actually like burned coming out of
Yeah.
my throat. But I could very soon. I haven't had much time to look at the book. We only very recently acquired it from Flint's Men. But yes, there's a lot of work that needs to be done quickly. I don't imagine you're going to get a lot of sleep in the coming days. Really, you shouldn't until we have any information. There's a reason that I don't sleep as often as I should, as often as Thorsten tells me to, and my husband.
I thought that was just because you were a perfectionist and because of, well, my mother, but
That's what it was originally. And then you were born, and then Weirlight started popping up in your gardens. Here we are. So we should really focus until we can get more information on what we are going to tell your family and your
right.
betrothed.
Thorsten,
As far
you have mentioned there was a reason you'd ever told my parents about this, about any of this.
right,
Do-
there's a couple very important reasons.
They saw me now. I can imagine
No.
it's hard to keep this in the dark for everything about going on. What do you want to tell them? It's can't say I've been poisoned or anything. Then the entire lands are going to be searched, and then the wedding will probably be postponed, or it'll just be a mess.
And you believe that such a thing would not happen were we to tell the truth? That
No,
you
but
and your wife-to-be are under a potent blood curse that has lasted since the beginning of your family? there are many reasons that we do not tell your parents a number of things. One of them being, it's easier if it does not get out. It's easier for them to act as if they do not know what's happening if they do not know what's happening. These are all very important things, especially when we're trying to keep normalcy out there with, well, everyone, really. But there are people who know, and that should be as it is for now until we can get this solved.
I trust you, and even though you've been very secretive of what's happening to me, I know you have our best intentions in mind. And you said once that you needed my blood to help with this. Would that still like speed things along? If I can, I
Well,
know this curse is ancient, and I have no idea where to begin.
I mean, I'll say Thorsten nods.
But if this could happen quickly, and I know it's stupid to ask for this centuries-old blood curse to be dealt with quickly, but if you say we have a chance, then I'll do whatever we can. As like, I agree. Then delay whatever you have to, tell whatever lies you want, just as long as we can deal with this. And it doesn't have to hurt the rest of my family now.
if I'm right, it already has done a lot of damage to your family. And we can stop it
know.
here. So yes, your blood would be helpful in continued experiments, though they are going to have to be very closed and very secluded. I don't know. We've seen what Weirlight blood can do to the flower, but
No.
what
you
air
can't.
blood can do to the flower, that's almost unthinkable.
Thorson and I got a room after the snake pit incident happened, so I think we got the closed off secrecy thing down.
Good. All right. Well, it would seem that you are now going to the rest of the world, have a case of the shakes, as it were.
Is that the best we can come up with?
I don't know what you
I've got
would
nothing
like
either.
us to say.
I don't know.
Yeah. If you want to ask, I mean, you have Orton and what's his name, Thorsten in the room. So if you want to try and ask from their advice, you are free to.
Yeah, sure. I think if there's anything else that we could say that would explain it better than a constant thing, like, oh, that's just a one-time incident. He's fine.
I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah, I
kind
mean,
of
Thorsten-
was, though.
well, yeah,
Well,
I
for
mean,
what,
Orton-
what my family's seen.
Orton goes,
it has been.
well, that's, well, I mean, if you ask Orton, he will only talk if you ask him.
Glass.
As
You ask,
usual.
okay. Yeah, Orton
Yeah.
goes, well, Lord Henric has been working very hard on the wedding. In fact, every night and day, and not to mention rides out with Ashlyn and just for the grounds and all the other things, and not to mention, his jousting injury. And he just like stares at both of you.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
jousting injury.
It's
So
just
with all of that added stress, it must have triggered his old jousting injury. And he just had a quick fit. He needs some bed rest for a while. But this is a one-time isolated thing. The man simply is too filled with dedication to the success of this wedding.
yes.
Thank you,
Good.
Orton.
I give him a nice soft pat on the shoulder. Very well. Very well.
Just like, Okay. Yeah, just a one-time thing. Thorsten's suggestion is like, well, I don't know. We could just say he's poisoned. I have lots of poisons. I can justify.
I
a lot of
know
fruit.
that was what I didn't want that to happen because it would be worse. But
I'm just saying, I could. It would be really easy.
No,
I could give you a very small dose.
I know you heard me, but I just the issue isn't with you in this. I'm trying to work with and to show not only her and her family, but everyone, because that I can be this fit lord and good husband eventually. But I just didn't want to make anything worse or make them have any more doubts about me than they already do.
Yeah. Orton looks like
We
he
just
wants
nod.
to say things but doesn't, and just nods. Well, you should probably appease his family. They know you better. I
Yes.
think they would be more. They believe it more if it came from you. I will assuade others.
All right. Yes.
And then I still don't know what's going on, but I would hope you develop some considerable time in the coming time to maybe devote what to do about this, because this sounds, whatever it is, urgent. I don't want to know any more than that. I don't want to be involved in those discussions. I have security to go over. But I guess maybe the stranger turn his face from you and just Orton will slip out.
Yes, Henrik, perhaps it would be best if you and Thorsten head down the stairs now, and we can say that he's going to rejuvenate you, provide you rest, and explain your absence away easier.
No, close. I feel fine enough to stand. I'll go downstairs. Sure.
Delightful.
Stand up shakily, unless Thorsten pushes me down, but I think I'm good.
You do. It is very difficult for you to find your legs, Henrik. And you're like, I'm fine now. Just yeah, you just wobble down. You're like, okay, maybe you need like a few minutes. But Clarissa, are you gonna go out? You hear Vivian pacing.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, Vivian. You see, first you saw Orton come out, and he smiles and nods at you, and he just says, "Clarissa will be out momentarily," and then he just ghosts away. And then Clarissa, you come out. I believe I know it's Tedric's there, Vivian's there. Mariella, are you there? Or were you dealing with a different thing?
I said I was basically taking care of like all of the kids.
That's right. So
downstairs.
you're cool. So
Yeah,
you're helping them
I was
right
staring
now.
daggers at Ashelica as she left.
Yeah,
the room.
that's right. Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you were doing that. I didn't comment. I missed something. In
it's
my
like
notes.
I've got multiple young
Okay.
children. Everybody ran up for Henrik. It was like she wanted to go, but it's like
yeah. But Nymora, where are you currently?
I was going to follow Ashelica.
You were going to follow Ashelica?
Yeah, at a respectful distance. I want to make sure that she's kept safe, of course.
Uh-huh.
We have just had a potential poisoning.
So that's where you're going? Okay. Yeah, so Viviana, it's you there then with your husbando.
Husbando.
Clarissa, you come out. There's Lady Vivian. Vivian, it's Clarissa.
Yep. What happened?
Your son is fine, doing well. I think with all the pressure that has been put on him, he's taken it too hard, done too much, tried to accomplish everything that we've wanted him to, and it's exhausted him, and it's stressed him and his ability to be.
So it's nothing medical. It's him being tired, is what you're telling me?
Essentially, it seems your son has come down with the vapors briefly and needed some rest.
Right. That well, I guess I'll ask
Mm-hmm.
Tony, is that going to go over well with someone like the Ashfords, that my son is just tired and
That's a
or
good question. So yeah, so they've told you that your son basically worked too hard, which like it's true, Vivian. You actually haven't seen Henric not doing something about the wedding at any point for the longest time. Apparently hasn't taken breaks, and you recall your father would get like that. He would do too much, and then he would like sleep for like 2 days or something. You know, a lot of, in fact, most of the what's your favorite, the Adderfells, most of the Adderfell men kind of have that problem, the overwork problem. Your brother was like that, your dad was like that. So this isn't that news isn't new to you. You've never seen your brother or father like fall into a fit over it. But I mean, Thorsten's the best. And
Right.
if he says he's fine medically, I mean, now your question though was about the Ashfords. So why don't you make me a test? Let's do a test. This game's equivalent of etiquette is essentially status breeding.
Okay.
This is what you know about the Ashfords, how well you know them as people. I'm just going to ask you to please make that roll.
Alrighty, status breeding. I have no benefits from any of my traits or anything, so it's just flat. Okay, here we go. 17.
Oh no, it's a 17. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the DC was 9. TN was 9. Yeah, so fantastic. So question is, would that go over well with them? Well, that's the difficult thing, right? Lord Ashford, you know, was in the beginning like obviously looking for a reason to besmirch Henric, and so it wouldn't matter if it was like reasonable or not. He would use that as an excuse, right? However, ever since your husband talked to him, he seems a lot more agreeable. So he will probably understand. Maybe he'll make a comment. You're not sure. All you would know is you probably should spin it, right? That's your. I mean, it's Vivian, right? So you tell me if this is wrong. But I think with a 17, you immediately come up with a way to spin it to just, instead of it being a serious medical thing, like Chris has said, like he's just stressed and tired. Talk about how you could embarrassingly reveal how dedicated Henric is to this union, how intense he believes that this was like his fault and he's trying to make up with it in every ways. I mean, you know, men, they're so some, you know, you can tell, lady, you know, men, sometimes they speak much better with their actions than their words. And you immediately, like, a part of you thinks you're like almost cruel for thinking of this, but of like your son's new medical condition could actually benefit your situation quite well. Vivian, I think, is disgustingly cunning, like canny enough to kind of go, I can use this, I can spin this.
This illness was well timed after all.
However,
yeah.
despite that, I would actually really enjoy, Clarissa, for you to make a deception test against Lady Vivienne. You will have a large bonus because Vivienne likes you. But do you have any specialties in deception?
He
A
asks.
few.
That was a funny question.
Yeah.
That was a funny
Few.
thing that you just said.
What
That
are
was
they?
rhetorical,
would-
right?
Wait.
Yeah, so I believe the one that would apply here is courteous, so I will add half of my persuasion rank, so 2 to my
Mhm.
deception test.
Okay.
And then do you have like
I'm-
bluff or act?
I was asking if you have bluff or act or
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Bluff.
What do you
I have 2 bonus
You have
die.
bluff? Okay, this isn't really a bluff. It kind of is. You know what? I'm gonna let you use it.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
then you may add half your persuasion rank to it, along with a +2.
Oh, well,
17.
Okay, so that and then is that included with your courteous bonus? Doesn't look like it.
It's just the +2 even, so it would be 17. 15 plus 2.
Okay, but don't you add your in dice? Do you add it in dice?
No, it's
just-
just a
The result.
straight addition, I believe.
Okay, because I also gave you a +2 as well
Oh,
on top
plus
of
2
all of your
die?
things. No, +2 die. No, just +2.
Oh, so then
Oh,
it's a total
so
of
it's
+4 then.
19.
Then it's 19. Okay.
Yes. I hadn't
Now,
realized.
yeah, absolutely. Vivian, what is your awareness
3.
and what's your will?
I think also 3.
Okay, cool. So the TN, do you have anything in empathy?
Yeah.
Yays.
oh,
Oh no, she
Froze.
froze.
Yeah.
so many computer issues tonight.
All of them.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I will say, then it sounds like that was a TN 14, which means Clarissa, you succeeded with 2 degrees of success. So the family fully believes it, and we'll wait
Okay.
for Vivienne to come back. But in the meantime, Clarissa, I mean, what do you want to do about this?
Yeah, I think having said that half of it, she would turn to Tedric then and say,
Mhm.
there's also the potential that we could say, in a way, that this exacerbated Henric's jousting injury. And, looks at him the way that Orton looked at her.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I know Tedric. I'm pretty sure he would be like, like nod.
That was a great Tedric.
Specifically to the men is the base that I wanted to cover here.
I mean, Lord
but-
Ashford won't be a problem. And he gives like a very I am the goodest boy smile.
Yes.
It won't be
You
a
are the
problem
goodest boy.
anymore.
Hi! Are you
Hey,
back?
welcome
We
back.
got you back.
back.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay, I don't know if you heard us, but it was TN 14 for your passive to lie to you. Someone has to get a 14 or higher. So Clarissa got 2 degrees of success.
Yeah.
So you do. I mean, I know you were believing her story, but I just wanted to secrete it that all right, this is rooted in your minds, so you don't think it's a deception. But now you are thinking of a way to even to make her deception even more of a deception.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yeah. So you and
I was gonna say deception, inception, but it's just deception.
It's still funny.
Not a lie.
Sorry.
There's yeah, I will turn to Vivian and just I believe that you will want to take care of the Ashfords and the interactions there. Is there anything that you would like, any base you would like me to cover in the meantime?
No, as far as I can tell, everything should be fine. With the preparations, I believe the Ashford stayed downstairs. I'll go handle that right now. Please let Henric know that I'm glad he's all right. I assumed he would be. Tiedric, as long as he's with Thorsten, he'll be fine. Right. So I'll go deal with that business. Thank you, Lady Birdsong. Now,
Mm,
do you prefer Clary still?
Clary is brilliant. Thank you, my lady.
And I'm gonna go swish in my skirts to that.
All right. Sachet. Fantastic. I would like to know though, as the player that is here, Clarissa, what would you like to do about the blood curse?
Mm,
And by the way, when I ask that, I'm not like, give me a solution now, Bailey.
mm.
I am like, what would you like to do to try and figure it out? And feel free to ask me literally any questions, and if you can do anything. If you're like, can I just cure it? Then maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah, so I feel like the first thing on Clarissa's mind is to spread the news, first of all, of the urgency to the people that know already. So
Okay.
Cedric, I think that's it.
Your
Might just be Cedric.
husband.
My husband.
Your sister too, maybe.
I'm gonna
Catalina
leave
a
her out
little
of it.
bit. She's
Yeah.
only vaguely aware of it and is kind of doing kind of taking Orton's advice of like, haha, we're gonna distance ourselves from that, so we can lie better about it.
My chickadees. But yeah,
Mhm.
I will find Cedric and I will find Jaren, likely in the same place, I would imagine.
They are around the corner.
Mm, fair enough. Yeah, I will. She like starts to bustle down the hallway and then sees them out of the corner of her eye and like pivots and says, "Oh, you're here. Hello, brilliant."
Both of them, both of these tall, broad men, both of their arms are crossed and they're just like catty cornered to one another as if they're talking, but also like facing a direction because soldiers.
And can't, look at it.
Yeah, they're obviously having a conversation, but they are not looking at one another.
Yeah.
And it's just
It's them.
It's them.
The most guy conversation.
It is a very guy conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, men.
Can I? Oh, I should have done this first. I'm an idiot. Can I look around? I feel like as soon as she sees them, she's like, "Oh my god!" and like looks around. Is there anyone in the hallway with us? Is there anything around here?
Seeing as your passive awareness is 24, there is what might be a leftover butterfly
Oh.
up
Butterflies.
up in the rafter somewhere, but beyond that you are alone.
Okay, good. Yeah, she will smile, nod, and say,
They both smile and nod. Jaren's is a very different smile than Cedric's.
there is work to be done, with Thorsten and I.
The
I
Lord
can-
is all right.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry, that's important. Yes, Henric is fine.
And Cedric, that was Jaren, and then
Mhm.
Cedric's like, so was that what I think it was?
It absolutely was. I should have known. I was unprepared. It was.
Well,
But-
I would honestly prefer that than the other way, where when the other kind, which you just see things and everyone thinks you're crazy.
I mean, there's large potential that Henric doesn't, come out of this with the straightest mind, but it's not really my problem. We do have a problem, though, as the wedding vows draw closer. Our timeline has been greatly accelerated. You are not likely to see any of the three of us for a little bit.
Is there anything you'd like us to do? And you notice, like, when you say that, both of the men straightened, which you're like, they already were really straight. So you're like, how are you straightening
you
more?
doing?
But they are. But they're almost like men at attention listening to their. You're like, you realize this is how men listen to Tiedric sometimes. And you're just like, okay. You feel like a little commander.
Little tiny short redheaded.
Little tiny short redheaded commander of your cousin and your husband.
Perfect. But yeah, I need you to keep a watch on the children. Our child seems to be connected in all of this, by the way. She just like puts a hand on his chest. I don't know for sure, but I don't have any answers either. It's I'm aware. Anyways,
Okay.
Keep an eye is what I'm saying.
Okay, I can do that. I can do that. Absolutely.
Good.
And Cedric's like, anything I can do?
Yes. Perhaps I'm not sure if you are connected or close with the Ashfords and their people in any way. You've known them for longer than I have, but I'm not sure whatever's going to fall after this event. I need ears on how they are receiving it from Vivienne. Besides from Vivienne herself, as again, you don't know all the information, you can't act with all the information. So anything you can watch until returned to me would be greatly appreciated.
I mean, I can watch the men. I'll see if there's any strange activity and things they're talking about. Meaning, if they are upset and they're blabbing about it, the men will know. So I can keep an eye on that.
That would be greatly appreciated. The other thing, one last thing, would be if you could cover our absence. That would be good, particularly
Yes.
mine and Thorsten's.
Well, it's got a built-in excuse, doesn't it? You know, you're a guest, and
I am.
Thorsten is taking care of Henric.
Perfect.
Yeah, and Jaren goes, so we've done this before. We just lie to the Lord and Lady, and Cedric's like, kind of looks over at Jaren. Cedric, who's just been doing this for so long, and Jaren, who's never had to worry about the game or politics or anything like that, but has just been a very good soldier, is just sort of like obviously seems uneasy, and he goes, we're protecting them so they can do what they need to do. You don't let your lord fight every soldier on the battlefield. You help fight him. Sometimes that means keeping them from a fight. You know that. And Jaren nods and goes, this is just a battlefield I'm not exactly familiar with, but I will learn. He goes, good. And he just like, not looking at him, like hits him on the breastplate, and Jaren doesn't even flinch. Just.
It's so nice that you two are friends now.
Like, what? Like, this Lily got coward. Like, yeah, I suppose he's all right. I'm like, yeah, same to you, jaded old statue. And just kind of go and nod away from one another.
All right.
Nice. Best friends. So cute.
They are. It is adorable. But yeah, I think Clary just, with that, kind of nods and turns around and goes to walk away, lest they stop her.
Yeah, he just goes, Jared, you just hear, love.
Yes.
Like, and the moment he says that, Cedric's like, right. And he just fucking leaves.
Thanks, Cedric.
Nope. He just goes, yeah, he does the Midwestern
I'm gonna
goodbye.
go
Just goes,
guard something.
well,
Okay.
and just,
well,
just leave. And yeah, it's just you and Jaren in the hallway, and he just goes, you've told me about this, and now we're seeing it and you're dealing with it. Looks like Jaren's like trying to like say something, but I mean, you're so good at reading people. Like he's it's not that like, it's more like, how do I say this instead of what to say necessarily. It's just like, I'm sorry I can't be of more use.
Oh, my darling.
And I think you are astounding.
Oh, you're perfect. And she gives him a kiss. I
He
have
goes,
been
oh, well.
I have been on this journey alone for years now, most of my life. Even to have you here beside me is more than enough help, and truly, truly an honor and a pleasure.
Like, he just nods and goes, well, you honor me. And then he just, like, he kisses you, because it's just that, more of that feel. Um, he goes, I'll keep Caleb safe. And I'll keep an eye out for things.
Keep Caleb safe and keep you safe.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Just very,
Right.
much harder. Like, that is a thing that is a task you wished of me.
A requirement, in fact. Yes.
A requirement.
Uh-huh.
I will keep Caleb safe, and I will do what I need to do to keep myself.
It's not hard. It's not. It's not.
It's hard.
Please.
Good job, Jared.
Like, it's hard.
Hmm.
I'll do right by us.
That's all I ask.
Not.
It's absolutely not, by the way, and you know that, but yeah, we can lie to ourselves. I've got some dirty old blood curse books to go read, so I will see you again soon.
I look forward to it. You, not the dirty books.
I look forward to the dirty books too, though, so.
Good for you. We all need a hobby, love.
We all wish I had a better one.
Okay. Yeah. He you can walk away. He moves forward again, kisses you again, and then back away. He goes, okay, I'm going now. And then but looks over his shoulder like a lot. And he's just like, as if like you're just gonna burst into flames.
Not inaccurate.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But yeah, before I go to everyone else, I still would like to know, now that you're free and clear of them, what would you like to do to try and figure this out?
I feel like she's probably had a bunch of lessons or just like lectures and rants from her dad about what it means to be an Astrawood, and she's
Accurate.
she's falling back onto a lot of that stuff now. Like, there's a sense like she probably walks past some sort of tapestry that has some religious insignia on it and
Yeah.
gets really uncomfortable very suddenly. Like, everything is hitting a lot harder. There will be no sleeping. She's not interested in anything like that at all.
Mhm.
And she knows in her soul that whatever the answer is, it's going to be in the book, and that's her only hope now. So I think she wants to deal with the social stuff to help Thorsten, but getting that book in her hands is a top priority.
Okay, excellent. So you'll be researching there through the book, so that's good to know. Henric, Thorsten helps you once everyone is cleared out. Helps you down the stairs to a place you haven't been before.
Okay.
In fact, you were going out the side entrance, an entrance you've never been out of. You're like, I didn't even know this was here.
To be fair, there's probably like a good quarter of the castle I don't know about, and
because that's where all the servants are.
Yeah.
And you never snuck anyone in. You weren't that kind of young lord. You thought about it. You thought about it a lot. But you
couple
didn't know.
times.
But you didn't know how to do
I
it.
ran logistics on it. It was a whole plan in my head. I just couldn't do it. So.
Yeah. So Thorsten sneaks you out. He tried everyone else trying to make sure that like no one sees you kind of walking weird, because again, in the Westerosi culture, any sign of physical weakness is a rough. I mean, literally, I mean, we all know what happened to the Tyrell's eldest, right? Like
We know.
Mm.
Yeah.
he walks funny but is otherwise fine, yet is seen as a pariah and a cripple.
I'm being that very. I know they're like keeping everyone away, but like I think
Yeah.
even for my own sake, I'm doing that thing where like, okay, like I'm good, taking like a few strong steps, but then like have to rest. Like, okay, too much.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you're kind of
back into it. Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, and Thorsten's helping you, right? Thorsten's pretty big. Like he can help you very easily. But you go out the side and go into like what a part of the castle you think is for storage. And then Thorsten opens a door and enters what looks like a secret room covered in blood.
It's an important part right there.
Hmm. Cool. Thorsten, where are we? Jacqueline.
He goes,
Still in the castle,
like,
generally, but if you could be more specific.
he goes,
Why we're
he
here.
goes, technically it's the old maester's hematorium.
And that is.
He's just stops talking and starts opening
Okay.
books up.
Okay.
Thorsten, did you invent that word?
I feel like he did. Can I take a look around this place? I mean, like,
Yeah.
me as Aaron kind of knows what it is, but yeah.
Yeah. You see, you're sat down at a chair at a large stone table, and has lots of weird writings all over it. There is something engraved in the floor in like bronze or brass, strange interworking symbols over in the corner. There is like I don't know if you guys ever seen like those hanging like large cutlery storage in the old medieval castles where there's just fucking knives and hooks and all kinds of weird things dangling over the table. There's a large pit in the left side, and there are these strange grooves everywhere that are just like filled with dried blood. There's also some like hanged crow cages. Nobody's in them, but like
Good. Yeah.
there is, however, a lying crow cage, like a almost like an altar with like a cage over it, and you do see it's dark in here, but there is like a vague person shape in it.
Okay.
Distressing.
It looks creepy as fuck, Henric.
So I guess I know where Thorsten has been these past few weeks when he disappears.
Mhm.
Okay. Great. I'm like trying to not panic. Like, Thorsten, I know I snuck out of a lot of your lessons, but I really did retain a lot, and you're my favorite uncle. I just want to say that before doing anything.
Mhm.
Okay. Can I look at? I don't know if I even understand them, but could I like try to take one of the books or ask him for?
There are several books on the table with strange,
Awesome.
bound in strange leathers and other things like that. You swear one of the books, the one that's open, you kind of like look at the front to see what it is, and you can't tell, but the leather looks weird, and then you realize there's like some freckles on it.
Okay, not that one.
You're like, okay.
Not this book.
Your uncle goes, "Would you like some tea?"
Sure.
Great.
Cute.
Clarissa, this is when you come in and you see Thorsten handing Henric tea.
That's normal tea, right?
He goes,
I hope so.
he just goes, "What?"
The last time you drank a cup of tea in front of me, things didn't go well, per se, so we always have to check. All right.
Right.
Mhm. Listen, I don't know why you would say that. Would you like a cup of tea, Clarissa?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Put mine down. I put mine down. Okay. Great. So if I know I'm probably going to be, fortunately, having to spend whatever you need me to now, so I can go reassure my family that I'm okay.
Well, the good news is you're largely covered for the time being. They're dealing with the Ashfords. But yes, there are a couple of things I'm interested in seeing you interact with, particularly your blood with the Weirlight samples, of course.
Yes, go to mention that.
We also have there's the book
Mhm.
and then the hand.
Mhm.
I think those are the only things.
Yeah, and
we have.
and you get the translate more of the
Yes.
parts in the book.
Yes. So while I do that,
Yeah.
Thorsten can do his science-y thing.
Cool. Yeah. Well, we can kind of gloss over that, but you'll be focusing that. So I would like to go to Nymora.
Mhm.
So Nymora, what are you doing?
I'm not following her, like, obviously. I just want to make sure that she's not going too far, just in case that there's, like... Because Angelica left, and I want to make
Yeah.
sure that she's not going too far so that she's, like, not putting herself in danger.
Okay, but what's like the real reason?
The real reason is I think that she's a bitch.
Okay, and you're making sure she's not going to do something bad.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, yeah. I'm about to say it's just God and Nymora right now. You can just tell
Yep.
me the truth
But
of why you're doing it.
It's a little bit of both. I think that she's an absolute bitch, but I also don't want anything else bad to happen tonight.
Right, it can look
And
bad on
if
the family.
if someone poisoned Henric,
Yeah.
then the chances that they might still be lurking about and may try to cause more havoc is fairly high.
Or she poisoned him.
Or she poisoned Henric. Who knows, man?
Mhm.
It's the jury's up in the air. It's just no one knows anything right now.
Okay, so if you don't want her to notice you, I am going to need you to make a stealth test.
Um, do. I don't think I'm being stealthy.
Okay, you did say
Like,
you
I
didn't
don't-
want her to notice you.
No, I'm just following. Like, I'm not being, like, right behind her.
Yeah.
I'm just further back. That's all.
Okay, I'm still going to need that.
Okay,
If you don't want
okay.
her to turn around and confront you, you will need a stealth test.
Okay.
It's whether that I'm not. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be like hiding
Yeah, I gotcha.
in the shadows or whatever, or you
5.
trying to blend in. Okay, 5. That does not meet the TN
Yeah.
number. Would you like to spend a destiny point to either reroll or get a +1?
Yeah, I'll spend a destiny point to reroll. Why not?
To reroll. Okay. 8. Yes, the TN was 6.
Yay!
Um,
Thank you for setting a low TN for my character who has a 2 in stealth.
it's a pretty average. It's like an easy average essentially. Shelika, I'm just gonna full on say, not the most aware person when she is doing stuff.
Oh, bless that stem blonde.
Shelika, she's just walking away. The main thing though is the men that sort of like appear at her side, which are part of the Ashford's guard essentially. Not that your house is unsafe, but like that's just it's what you do.
Yeah.
She has 2 men with her, one in like proper armor, not like fucking plate, like he's not about to go to war or anything, but he's got like a breastplate, and another man in leathers, but they just kind of like flank her as she kind of walks down the hallway. She doesn't really seem to notice you. The man in leathers, however, does seem to notice you. He doesn't say anything. He looks over his shoulder and kind of like he doesn't make like eye contact with you, but you felt that he's like sees you. You're not sure if he's suspicious of you or anything, or like it means something, but you don't see him like whisper or say anything to his compatriots. Yeah, Ashelika goes all the way down. She turns right, which means she's not going towards like her rooms. I mean, she's going to like the balcony area. And yeah, she goes out there onto the balcony, and she just like stands out it and just like looks off into the distance. We have like, it's night, so it's just dark. And in the distance, you see some lights, which are essentially red port, but it's mostly just pitch black. And the men take up position, and she just like out loud is like, I hate going to the fucking sticks.
All right.
Like,
all right.
Like, look at this. Just dark. One measly tiny little port town. Ashford is a sprawling city. No matter what balcony I look out, there's lights everywhere. And here it's just black, and it smells like manure and fertilizer.
Are her guards just like this is just a common thing that she goes and has
They
a
don't
soliloquy on her balcony?
they don't look surprised. She shakes her head like there's nothing even to stare at because this hall is so ugly.
Okay.
She's just like complaining out loud. You're not even aware to anyone. Yeah, and she just like tries, and then like sits down, and then just like snaps her finger, and the man in leathers like sits up from like the wall he was leaning on and walks over and goes, "Milady," just it goes, all right, well, I've decided I'm still hungry, so can you just like bring me my food and something sweet and some white. Like, can I please have a gold, please? Because the red they serve with dinner, like, I don't give a fuck about wine pairings. I hate red. It's too much. It's far too much. And then he goes, of course. And he just like you just hear him like crack his own back and just like start walking down the hallway. He stops where you are, Naimora, and he goes, like, Lady Ashelika, and just like gives you her order. It goes, do I talk to you about, can you pass that? Can you do me a favor and pass that message on, or do you need me to go to the fucking kitchens?
No, I just came here to make sure that she was going to be safe, but I am sure
I don't care. I didn't ask why you were here. Why you were here. I just can I tell that to you and you take it to the kitchens, or do I have to walk my fucking ass down to the kitchens?
No, I'll take it to the kitchens for her. I'll take it to the kitchens for you.
You're right.
Course.
Yeah, when you say for you, he nods more like, you're right, folk. You're right, folk. I was like, what are you, you Southling, right? It's what are they called? Nornish? That's the one.
Half Dornish only.
Oh, half Dornish. I feel like there's a lot of that. I feel like that's a frequent thing down here, isn't it?
Depends on where you are.
I
If you
think
go
I
to,
understand.
If you go to Redport, yes, more often you find Dornish sailors find some comely woman to warm their bed at night. So,
Is that the bit of lights in the distance there? Is that an airport?
that would be it, yes.
They got yeah, they got men and women in Redport. Yeah?
If you're asking if
He's
they have
clearly
horses,
He's clearly asking if there are a horse.
if you're
That's for
asking
men
after a
and women, so
if you're asking after a pillow house, then yes, you can find something that suits your desires there. It is
Yeah.
not so small a city as my lady seems to think it is.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to please her. My lord has tried very hard to please her.
Hmm. What is her favorite color? Do you know?
My lady Ashelika.
Yes.
Um, he blinks and thinks. I think it's like what's the one? what's the one that's like it's like a lemon?
Yellow?
Nah, that's not it. No, it's like the color lemons are whatever the lemon color. What is that?
That would be yellow.
That's yellow. Doesn't feel right, but I think all right. You probably know better than me.
She likes things that are lemon colored, yes? Alright.
I suppose. I mean, she likes lemons, and sometimes she wears dresses, and a lot of it has that color in it. Seems to like it. Doesn't wear my lord's colors, that's for sure.
Yes, well, let me go ahead and get my lady's order to the kitchens.
I appreciate it. I owe you, maybe.
Yes, come find me if you want to know more about Redport or about anything else around here.
I'll bring you a drink later.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, and he just fucking turns around and scratches his head and walks back.
Okay. I am going to go. I will go and put in her order for
Okay.
more food. However, the other thing that I am going to do is I am going to go and find like some yellow poppies
Uh-huh.
to decorate her plate with.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that she is a bitch, but I also think that she is a bored rich girl, and I think that she will I think ingratiating our house to her is probably okay.
Okay. Yeah. I will say, if you kind of like stalk and follow them back to bring her stuff,
Mhm.
they come and place everything down and place like literally
Yeah.
a small like garnish of yellow poppies, very easy to find here. And
Like a glass
then,
of water
and
with
then
a lemon wedge and some
yeah,
arbor gold and
yeah, like an arbor gold and like yeah, a small pitch of water, and then like a vase with like more yellow
Mhm.
poppies like in it, and they just like throw like a tablecloth over it, just like sit up, and you do see her go like, oh, like just like like kind of like, oh, the flowers. Like she just clearly does like it. And then like and then she can like turns to her man and goes, well, watch the way, you can't watch me eat. And they just like the armored man is like much more vigilant. The one in leather is just like he's just like leaning up against the wall, and now his like arm is like leaning up on it, so he's just staring the other way.
Looks like he would be like to be in bed or possibly in bed with a whore. Like,
Yeah.
good for him.
Mhm. Yeah, to you, Naimora, he sounds northern, like thick northern.
Yeah.
So there are some
Mm.
northern who can like pass for a southerner in speech, but that guy, it
No,
sounds like he comes from thick stock.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find him later. I'm not going to take him away from his duties, and I don't want Ashelika just to be yelling at us for talking in the hallway.
Accurate.
Shut the fuck up! I can't eat while you're talking. You're ruining
Well,
the food.
I can't believe you've already gotten to know this character so well, Heather. That is 100% what you would say.
But yeah, I'll wait for him to be off duties, and then we can talk later if he wants. If he still wants to
Yeah.
have a drink. But like, yeah, I just want
Absolutely.
to, yeah,
I love
make
it.
it to give her some flowers.
So I would now like to go to Mariella. Mariella, you have at this point, I believe you're probably like guiding the kids like up.
Probably, yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
so-
if like the meal is done and like absolutely shepherding the
Mhm.
children.
Yeah. To say is like is the one who is probably the most like concerned, and so what would you like to say and do to sort of calm the kids down? Because Tisea being upset is like clearly affecting the younger ones who like are don't know what's going on at all, but like can sense Tisea's energy, and so they're just like like starting to freak out a little bit. What do you want to say to try and like alleviate your the youngins' fears, or calm them down, or get them moving, or whatever you want?
I think like she would probably like, if Tisea is that agitated, I think she would allow like Mariella to like be holding her hand as like leading them up and everything like that, and it's like probably like say to her, well, I don't know, but you know that if something bad were happening, there would be a lot more noise and a lot more chaos, so maybe either it was something he ate or just
I've never
something
never
going
seen
on.
him shake like that. I mean, are you sure? People always talk about mother always talks about poison. She was poisoned, you know.
Scarred your grandchildren.
Oh man. Well.
Then you hear a fucking Valena just go poison.
Oh no.
You
well,
scarred them.
we both know that Mother would be absolutely everywhere if that were the case, because we know how much she loves all of us and is very protective. So who knows, maybe it's just, from everything I heard, Henric has been doing everything all day, even up at ungodly hours, from what I understand, even when the sun's not up yet. But I'm pretty sure that they'll tell us either later this evening, or
But I want to help.
I think the best way that you can help is to help, and like kind of like looking at like towards where like Philippa and Valena, and either I'm carrying Eric or something.
Please
help make sure that
Valena, please.
that the rest of our sisters and brother are well taken care of.
Like, okay, so make a persuasion. I mean, this would be convince.
Probably,
I think you are trying to like, you're using a very like sound argument, not always the gonna work super great with small children, but Tisea is quite advanced for her age. So let's see how that goes.
Now I do have a question. Would she
Yeah.
fall under the status 4+?
The what?
Does she have a
Favorite
status of 4 or more?
She does. She does, in fact. Tisea has a status of 5, so
Good for her.
I had
she's
to ask.
10, but yeah, she does. She's like your sister too, so you already get a +3 against her.
I know. I just had to ask.
Mhm.
All right, favorite of nobles.
+2, sorry. Okay, that's 11, and then +4.
So a total of
Whoa.
15.
15. Okay. Yeah, I mean 100%. Yeah, it was a TN9. So yeah, she nods and goes, very well, I can do that. And she goes up to Valena and like picks her up and she goes, well, you'll stop this foolishness now. And, because we all have to keep ourselves and get to bed, right? And Valena's like, poison. And Philippa just like puts her little hands together and goes, okay, and just kind of like sways back and forth, and gets you kind of help get Eric and
Does Eric not pay attention to any of this poison talk? I looked down.
Yeah, Eric is just like just big moony eyes,
Lovely.
glossy, staring at everything. But yeah, you pick him up.
Well, I assume he wouldn't be a great walker from what I understand.
He doesn't walk.
At least not at this point.
No, you got to carry him. And Say is kind of holding the hands of like the twins. You kind of have to carry
Eric.
Eric.
Question: was Callum?
Yes.
Calum
so
also
I was.
with.
Yes. So
Okay.
you would be with Callum as well. Callum kind of walks, so you can kind of hold his hand.
Okay.
It's very slow going, but he's got a little stompy feet.
I'm herding kittens at the moment. It's okay.
Yeah, he's just got little stompy feet. He's just like.
Yep.
But you're herding kittens. It's slow going, but you do kind of get them all to where they need to be. To say it helps you.
It's like the Septa waiting for us in.
Yes, she
at
does.
least in Eric's room.
Yes,
Okay.
she does come and she'll take Eric. She goes, I can look after Caleb as well.
Right. Possibly.
I think I'll. It's already done. I'm going to let. I think I'll let them know. Don't you worry. I think, Miss, you just worry about what you need to worry about. I've got the youngins. I think you're a fine example of a young woman, I will say. And the Septa Myrtle kind of gives you that praise and make sure the youngins kind of go off to bed. And when Tisea is like slowly goes to her room, is like, you will inform me once you know, right? I will be kept informed. And the way she's saying the words is like, I've heard these words spoken.
My mother has demanded this before.
Yeah, yeah, it's very much like I've heard mom or like Henric or someone like say things like this before. I know what's up.
These are the words I say to make sure I'm getting what I currently want.
Exactly. Accurate. But
if I don't come myself, I will definitely let someone know as soon as I can share it with you.
Well, very good.
Unless Mother would like to tell you.
I will sleep lightly, so you can come in at any time.
It's very gracious of you.
Good night. And she just closes the door to her room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Yeah, you just hear something like, "Oh, well, someone is a rambunctious young man who doesn't know when it's time to lay down." Like,
Callum.
mhm.
Absolutely Callum. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but you are free to the kids are handled. Except the Myrtle's got it from here.
Um, yeah, I think I start kind of heading back down, but kind of like looking around as I go because it's been a while since I've been
Yeah.
home. I don't know. Do I see anybody kind of like walking the halls or like any of like the kind of bigger name
Yeah,
NPCs?
you do smile. You see Catalina.
Sweet. Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, Lady Mariella,
Since when do you call me lady?
when we're at this distance and I have to speak this volume."
Then let us remedy that very
Yeah,
quickly because
she
this is
like,
very uncomfortable.
"As you say, my lady." And she will then like skip closer
Yeah,
to
I
you
think
and
just like
yeah.
mutual. Okay. It's like,
Yeah, and
this is very
she she immediately gives you a hug.
Hmm.
And be like, "Your brother's okay.
Thank you.
He's actually already up. It was like from what we know, it was he hasn't been sleeping. He's been the wedding, the area, guards. He kind of gives you and goes, I think he feels like he has to do everything to make up for everything.
He's trying
And
to exceed everybody's expectations too
she nods,
quickly.
and it just bit him in the ass. But he's fine. He's just Thorsten's with him now. He's moved him, making him rest, I believe.
Well,
Thorsten is the only one really that honestly I feel like Henrik listens to sometimes. But then again, that's everyone. It's
a
hard
very
not to. He
strange
just
pair.
sounds like he knows what he's talking about. How are you?
It's that self-confidence.
Mhm.
Better now that I know Henrik is fine. I had actually a brief conversation with your sister earlier today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You have gotten a few of my letters, correct? With all of the things going on over at Highgarden.
Yeah.
Well, my thought was, and was trying to see how soon Clarissa was planning on returning to her post and things, but if we can find Constance, a man to her liking, she will be gone, and I know that you had made a comment of how your uncle had not helped get you to Highgarden before and possibly have you with me.
I mean, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Right. Well, first we need Constance to find
Constance's
someone
husband.
and your sister return to her post because I don't think my mother would allow anyone other than an Asterwood or now Birch Song to really help run her home.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want my help with that, yeah, I can absolutely. I mean, it's not like I have a list of eligible men within the reach. Oh, wait.
Well, maybe we can help find Constance somebody for herself, and then we can definitely start for you. Although I do believe that there might be a few that you have not quite met. Definitely might be on the list, but not have met yet.
Oh, really?
Over at
Is that
Highgarden.
so? Well, I haven't. I'm sure I haven't met a lot of people. I've heard about a lot of people.
Have you heard anything interesting about a lot of people?
Well, I mean, a few. I mean, I mean, there's, I mean, they're minor, but I mean, actually, I don't know a lot about Constance's family. Do you?
I know some. Her father was a knight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, her house
she's
is very
Meadows,
minor.
right?
Yeah. Which is, it's like not even real. It's like a house in the
It's-
most base of terms. Like it is,
Yeah.
like he is a lesser landed knight,
Yeah.
essentially.
Mm.
He is basically the same equivalent as what Joran is now.
Jaren.
Joran. I switched the vowels
Wrong
there for a
vowel.
second. Jaren is what like Jaren is now. But
Yeah.
Jaren is actually very quickly becoming a greater landed knight.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I share this with.
Nymora is a lesser landed knight, I think.
I don't.
y-
Have you been given your land yet?
Not technically.
Nymora has not been technically given her land yet, so right now she is a lauded knight, is what the term is. You are a knight of worth and value. People have seen your strength. You are a lauded knight.
But yeah,
You are
as
not quite
soon as you were
landed
given
yet.
land, essentially you will be the equivalent.
Yeah, exactly. She forged her
Someday
own
I will.
house.
Yeah, I shared that with Catalina.
Yeah, she goes, okay, well, I mean, there's the Gracefords. Alice Graceford has a brother. An older brother, obviously. But I mean, that could work out. I mean, Alice Graceford, though older, she's kind of friends with Marjorie. And when she says the word Alice Graceford, that comes back to your mind. You're like, oh, I know who Alice Graceford is. She's like a few years older than Marjorie by like 4 or 5 years, maybe a little bit more. But they like spend time together and talk. Alice is like very intelligent and graceful. As her house dictates. She's fucking like, the thing you really stood out to her is she's so pale. She's just like she's like,
not
what
quite
is the
albino,
sun?
but
Yeah, like, I mean, not enough to be fully concerning, but it is enough to make people double take and go like, oh, is that girl okay? And she's like, yeah, she's just
Never
like,
sees the sun.
yeah, she like outside she wears like a veil and stuff, and she just does not let her skin contact the sun. It's a thing.
My kind of girl.
Yeah, but like the Gracefords, they have a boy.
is how
He's not
old?
the heir. Let's see. He's, I want to say 22. I'm sorry. Not Alice Graceford's brother. Her uncle. Excuse me.
Makes more sense.
The Lord's brother. He goes, the Lord has a brother. He's 22. He's unmarried. Shown to be. I've heard he's handsome.
Could I do like a status breeding then? If like I'm aware of Alice, would I be able to like?
Yes, absolutely. Now that she's
mind base.
She put your brain on the path. Go for it. Absolutely.
All right. Breeding.
Jesus.
20.
Disgusting.
It's like the one
Okay.
thing I roll real good at. guys.
You're real good at it. Yeah, you know people,
Which is
man.
so funny.
Yeah. Yes, I would say with a 20, you have heard of. Excuse me. Yeah. Graham is his name. Graham Graceford. Yeah. Graham is said to be quite attractive. Though like he's much more attractive than his older brother. Lord Graceford is a sort of like sharp man. Like think like bony long chin, just angled as fuck face, just like
Bone structure for days.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like it's sharp and he looks like a Disney villain. Like Lord Graceford literally looks like Judge Frollo's younger brother. Like
I'm
like
sorry.
if
All I
you
can picture is like the villain from the Hunchback of Notre Dame, just like
yeah, Judge Frollo, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm saying like yeah, that guy. He's very similar to that guy, a little younger, but just like. And then there's Graham, and that's Lord Graceford. And then there's Graham, his younger brother, who is like definitely more attractive than him.
Okay.
Um,
Do I know if he
Uh,
has like land and a house?
yeah, I mean, so the thing is, the Gracefords are a minor house.
Yeah.
But yeah, Graham has his own land. He has a what's it called, a tower, and he is like building. They're trying to raise funds to like build a hall.
Okay.
You heard. Graham is not, from what you heard, not really like a warrior. I mean, all young noblemen know how to sword fight. It's like a requirement.
Yeah.
But he's much more of a social guy. He talks, he gets around to different areas and courts and parties. He's talks, and he a lot of people say he's the reason that like Graceford isn't in danger of like exhausting their funds, because Lord Graceford took over from his father, who died when he was like 90. So like it took a long time. And he kind of nearly bankrupted the Gracefords, trying to appease his second wife.
So Graham is the one with the reputation, or is it the new Lord?
Graham is the one with the reputation of being good with money.
Okay.
Lord Graceford is seen as a harsh negotiator.
Okay.
Is what people say, because
And he already has a son, which is why Graham is not the heir.
Yeah, no, Graham is in the heir. But Lord Graceford was the son of the previous Lord Graceford's first wife. Graham is the son of his second wife. They are technically half brothers, but both legitimate born children. It's probably because Graham's second wife was half Dornish. Not Graham's second wife, excuse me.
The
his
previous
dad.
Lord.
His dad's, yeah. I know I'm going give you got a 20, I'm trying to give you a lot.
It's okay. So Graham is quarter Dornish, good with money, has land, has a tower, building a hall. All of this sounds like it'd be an improvement from where Constance's dad is.
Yeah, I mean, Constance's dad has like a Mott and Bailey, but his land is not the best, right? Like, also the Meadows are a insignificant family.
Exactly. Yeah.
There is no way for her to not marry up unless she marries of small folk, right? Yeah. Like, that is kind of how that is. So yeah, that would be a huge improvement. I mean, that's the range Constance is looking for. She has no weird, like, that's a great ambition. Like, I'm gonna marry into a higher house.
That's not hard to do.
I mean, right, because of all the
theoretically,
options.
with the people she's exposed to through me, it's like PX. So are the Gracefords coming to the wedding?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, everyone in the Reach.
Everybody, I'm assuming, but
everyone in the Reach. And if someone doesn't show up, well, then well, it's noticed, because then people can talk about like, oh, were they not invited? And nobody wants to feel like, nobody wants that rumor, so everyone's coming.
Okay.
Because they don't want to make people think they weren't invited to how cool this was.
All right. Yeah, from what I'm hearing, it's like, would I know what his general disposition is? If I don't, that's fine. But like with his brother, it sounds like he's more kind of stern and straight-laced.
Yeah.
versus
His
Graham.
older. I mean, his brother is older than your dad, right? There's quite an age disparity between them. Yeah, he's a harsh man, very straight. Drinks and has libations like everyone else, but like fairly humorless unless drunk. Where Graham, Graham is again he can be charming. He's good with money. He's more agreeable. He's very like action oriented.
Okay.
A lot of people call him that he's a reacher. He's reaching. He constantly tries to cut deals with people above his station,
Okay.
which some people take offense to, other people are intrigued by.
Okay.
You can decide how you feel about that.
Yeah. All right. So like kind of doing the mind maze and pulling up all of this junk.
Oh, also just a thing about Graceford. Their castle is Holy Hall. Holy Hall. Their arms are the mother's, as in like of the seven, the mother. The mother's face upon white, pale, wavy, dividing a brown field, and their motto is "Work her will."
Okay.
They're a very the Gracefords are a very religious house, though famously, the Lord will quote scripture, but it seems they're not sure how like really devout he is.
Okay. Yeah, I think you know what? I haven't done this for a while. I'm home. There are the other ladies that I had brought with me as well. We could have a girls' night and just like have a couple bottles of wine delivered.
Go and you want to go over the list, a list of men, and talk to Constance and everyone giggle.
Well, it's like Constance, Jennifer.
Oh yeah,
like,
Jennifer. Yeah.
like Eve and
the old
Mina.
gang.
Yeah. Because Mina and
Jennifer
Eve
comes later,
would
but like
know
definitely.
Them.
Yeah. They're happy to talk about this. Yeah, Eve is very much also like, is there men for me? Is there anyone there for me? Can we talk about maybe me getting a husband?
Let's dole out the guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think the offer would be made to Ashella if she wanted to join, so that she doesn't feel like super left out in her room.
Interesting.
Especially since I have seen and Mariella doesn't really have a shit list. Her sister has now made Mariella's shit list. It's like, okay.
It's true. Very like you can tolerate and look past a lot, Mariella. It's very true. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that's a great question. Oh my god.
It's like the offer is made, but totally understanding it's like you just arrived. If you need to rest, no offense will be made.
Yeah, if you imply like it will be drinking, and do you send like someone to invite her, or do you go yourself? I think those are the
if it's
questions.
on the way, I would absolutely invite her myself.
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, on the way in the size of this castle,
it's just massive.
It's daunting.
Huge.
Listen, everybody who lives in a castle has good cabs.
Yeah, and I feel like Mariella kind of like picks like a more sequestered like balcony area where Henric would definitely not show up, so it's like there wouldn't be any issues there.
Yeah,
it's more like a location that the family would know, but it's more like Mari's area.
Yeah, that's the size of the place and the amount of balconies that are in Thealden Hall. I would say absolutely. Yeah, I think that can happen. Before that happens, though, before we I would like to go to Vivian. My sweet, my lady.
She's been poisoned before.
So, you have been told that like Lord and Lady Ashford wait for news of Henric. Would you like to go and alleviate them?
I shall.
Fantastic. So you were brought to them. It's very easy to find them. The Great Hall was sort of cleared. It's just it would be it would be rude and awkward to eat at that table now. We
Get
don't.
another table for such.
Yeah, yeah. Like, we'll get a different table moved.
Mhm.
You have so many tables. Like,
So let's go to the second dining room.
like yes. Well, all right. We'll get the pearwood table and we'll go into the second dining room. Yeah. So, but you find them, the lord and lady. And Lord Ashford looks and about to say something, and then Lady Ashford, and he goes, "How is the poor dear? Is he all right?"
He's more than fine now.
What was it? Should be of concern?
No, not
Is
at
there poison?
all.
Is there a plague about? Is there something we do
No,
not know?
darling,
What
no.
is quite happening
Darling,
here?
please calm yourself. There's nothing to worry
I think I
about.
have a right to be a little concerned. After all, I mean, it's my soon-to-be son-in-law.
I
And
know, dear, but if you worry too much, you'll start to get wrinkles in your perfect complexion.
And like you can tell she was definitely going for a sort of angle with you, but the moment you say that, everything retreats in, and she's just like, "Oh yes, well, I mean, I'm not. I mean, why don't you alleviate me of that?" And then she's just now just like pulling at her face.
Yes. Unbeknownst to me, Henric has been working day and night to make sure the festivities go on without a hitch. He did not want you or your family to feel as if though we were presenting something subpar. After all, we know that this is going to be the greatest wedding the Reach has ever had. And my son wants to be a part of that. And Lord Ashford, I'm sure you can attest, men work so hard so that we women don't have to worry about a thing.
Okay, yeah. This sounds like charm to me.
I would like it.
So I would very much like you, because this is kind of the truth, but it's also you kind of working it. So I'm going to say this is more of a deception check, but you may use your charm bonus and any bonuses that relate to your charm of your like abilities.
Okay. So
like I would allow like you have magnetic, right?
I do have magnetic, yes.
I would allow magnetic to be used in this situation.
Okay, understood. So let me just make sure.
Because this game is cool like that. We can do that. We can cross things.
Okay, so I'm allowed to, so just to clarify, I do have this. So I will be rolling the deception skill, but with my persuasion like bonus dice.
Yeah, with charm, right? You can just enter charm under deception. I'm allowing you to use the bonus for this roll, whatever the rank is of it.
Understood. Okay,
and then you have like favored of nobles, which
with that. No, that's only in the persuasion section. So
yeah, I'm not gonna say favored of nobles go for this one.
But like charismatic would work with the plus 2 to the charm result.
I'm allowing the charismatic to work for this because this is a charm roll. It's not persuasion, but it is a charm roll, so I'm going to allow it.
Okay. So
I think it applies just in my brain. I like it that way. So
yeah.
I mean this game is designed for that. It's supposed to like, well, now you can roll athletics with your awareness bonus of seeing. Like it's all about that stuff.
I have it ready to roll.
How strong are your eyeballs?
Mm-hmm. So what is that? 17?
Yes, 17.
Excellent.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, 17. That's fantastic. The TN to assuade Lord Ashford was 9, and the TN to assuade Lady Ashford was 12. So you got 2 degrees of success for Lady Ashford. And she changes her tune a little bit and goes like, "Oh, I see. What a sweet gesture. But he's not useful to my daughter if he's all passed out like that. I hope he's getting rest."
Absolutely.
And Lord Ashford goes, "Oh yes, of course. Yeah. Young men, we push ourselves too hard, especially when we are in love." And then she goes, "Do you remember when you were in love?" Like my lord, and he goes, "I'm in love with you." And she goes, oh, of course. She's just like,
Oh my fucking god.
So when I'm able,
just
coming in
leaned
from-
in. Just like,
yeah. So with magnetic, their disposition toward, I don't know if it's directly me or maybe the situation, it would raise by 3 steps from where they are currently.
All right, so we're going to kind of mitigate that kind of ability, but it will be like, I will say that will change for sure. They feel like they kind of talk as if we're like, oh well, we're in this together.
Of course.
And it's just like, I want my son-in-law to be healthy. So you tell that boy to get some sleep and let some others, delegate some others. A good leader leads from the front, but he also delegates tasks when he needs a moment to himself. Get a cup of brandy or something.
I will
And she goes, oh dear, you're so wise. Wise far beyond your years. And he just like looks at her like, okay.
All right. Excellent. Well, if you are in need of anything, you need only
Oh
ask.
yes, absolutely. The pearl cream you told me about.
Yes, of course.
I have been looking forward to that. I know you're concerned about your son, but I mean, like, I'm also concerned, and I can't have.
I've already had it sent to you.
You know, we know that this is what we have. This is everything, and this is like a weird like moment, like.
I have already had it sent to your rooms, my lady.
She just like, and then she makes a weird squeak noise, and then she goes like, well, I must apply it, and she just and goes, come dear, and goes, I think Lady Vivian, and we'll go off. Yeah, you fucking handled the Ashfords. Is there anything else you would like to try and go and handle and alleviate? Talk to people.
Yeah, just there are only guests here, so I definitely want to make sure that none of just calm down the servants so no one's losing their job or anything. It wasn't the food. Or
yeah, it looks like Orton has already started doing that. He's taking care of the servants. That's why he like left. He was like going to the kitchen, being like, okay, so nobody's fucking run for the hills. Like, stop packing the dishware. You're fine.
No plague.
It's all over now. We're dead. No. Then if I have people to go take care of that. I'm gonna say I don't think I noticed Ashelica because my son passed out.
No, you left before she said any of that shit.
So I think I'm gonna go check on my other kids because they're probably scared.
Absolutely. You find that all of your kids have already been calmed and put away, and you see Eric is like fast asleep in bed. You see Septa Myrtle is just like tiring Calum out essentially. And you see looks like Jaren has like approached there and is now just like in the room now, just bouncing and rocking Calum. And Septa Myrtle's just talking talking to Jaren. She's referring to him as like sir. She always calls him sir, but she is like talking about like, signs of a rambunctious boy means there needs to be more discipline at home. And he's just like, oh, that's fascinating. Really? Oh, okay. Just like, he's not insulting her. He is listening. She's a Septa. Like,
two of the most disciplined people I have ever known had a baby. I think their kid will be fine.
Like, I've always found in my mind of curious. Oh, yes, you don't want a curious child. Curiosity is very bad. Just like, no, there's ways to curb that. And that is through the 7-pointed star. And he's just like, his eyes are like, help me. But also at the same time, like, but there will be no help, for I am resolute to protect my child. And this is where it is. So this is what I'm doing. Like,
I'll just close the door on that because that woman raised me, so I know what that's about. She just won't die.
You're like, stop looking out windows. That's let your mind wander, and when your mind wanders, the stranger turns his head. You know, yeah.
Perfect.
She's like, castles shouldn't have windows.
Balconies are the devil's work.
Yeah, if the kids are fine,
Well, there
then
is
oh,
Tisea.
yeah,
If you
that
want to
was
kind of
mhm,
open the door and check on Tisea, her candle's still on, and she's in like she looks like she put herself in her she got into her nightwear, you know, for
okay.
sleeping and all that. But she is like sitting on her like window sill nook
Mhm,
and looking out into the dark night,
mhm.
and like turns and looks and goes, oh, like look, no, she's like supposed to be in bed, but she's just like,
Oh, sweetness. How are you, my dear?
and she just like kind of like, do you go over to her?
Yes, of course. I'll sit on her windowsill with her. I just want to
Yeah,
hold
she's
her.
just yeah, she just kind of like curls into you very very quickly and sits on your lap,
Mhm.
and it's just like, is Henrik okay?
Yes, he is, dear. You must have been so scared, but your brother is perfectly fine. He's been working very hard to make sure that your in-laws will be welcome and that Ashella will be happy.
No, it's like, so he's gonna be okay.
Yes, he's going to be fine.
Okay. I Mari told me that I can help by being in bed and helping the other little ones get to bed, and I did that.
So good, my sweetness. And I'll kiss her head.
Mhm. Like, I want to help.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm small, but I hear things. I just I want to help the house too.
Oh.
And she does the thing where she like looks, she's sitting in your lap and looks up at
Mm,
you upside down, and her
yeah.
skin is so perfect and little cheeks and
My
nose.
little precious baby. Yeah, I'll kiss her nose like, well, sweetness. The best way you can help your brother and the family is to be yourself. You do not have to be. You are charming and beautiful and so, so kind and sweet. And I know, I mean, Clarissa will definitely say the skills that you have in listening to others will come in great handy because, well, I've told you many a times, people are more willing to talk when when they are feeling welcome, and you have a gift of welcoming others.
She smiles, kind of like, I was, you know, and in this moment you realize you have not actually you've spent time with Tisea, but you haven't
Mm-hmm.
talked to Tisea. You
Right.
realize, and this is a rare time of you talking. Normally you're just near each other spending time, and she like mimics what you do, but this is the first time you're like conveying, and she looks like she wants to say a lot of things because she doesn't always
Mm-hmm.
get the chance.
Yes.
And just goes, I just, Mari's so strong and is able to just, you know, she's able to handle so much, and in that other place and trying to do all this like things, and Henric's the heir, and I always see him, he's so serious now. And I mean, he still smiles when he, you know, when I talk to him, but when he's alone, he's so serious. And I just, you know, and Garrick is obviously going to be, you know, t- warrior strong. You know, he's going to protect the house, and I just didn't know what I could do. I mean, mom, I think mother, you were a second daughter, right?
Didn't actually have guidance.
Present.
Oh,
Oh,
I froze. Hold on. Let me try to refresh. Okay, let me try to refresh.
Okay.
The screen. Here we go. Yeah. Excellent.
Hey.
Yeah, I'll tell her, yes. As there's always a trick to being a second daughter. Either the family ignores you and you are given no purpose, or you're told your only purpose is to wait until you are married and you are forever in the shadow of the one who came before you. But, my sweet, sweet Tisea, my entire purpose as your mother is to make sure that you can do what it is that you want. And I believe that the best way to help your family and your brother is the things that you hear. I know that would you believe to be important. You could tell Henrik, like, women don't say the same things in front of your brother that they do in front of you. Sharing that with your brother.
Oh,
Too soon.
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Are you cut out? Okay.
Oh no, am I still here?
Yeah, you're here. You're here.
Yeah.
You're here.
For like a second there.
And what it comes down to, I think, is being yourself and your brother. I mean, the biggest thing they tell us is that if you marry well, that is the best thing you can do for your house. But I like to give your sister and your sisters and your brothers more purpose than that. And that's just me. I know I just explained a lot of things that really mean the same thing.
It's okay, mother. It's like I just like that it feels like our whole family is like in on a secret. And I've never really felt a part of that secret, and I want to be. And I like the secret a lot. It's like nobody knows that we're the best house.
That is very true. So, how about this? Would you like. Clarissa is very good at people not noticing her, but she does have good skills in listening. Would you like to. I guess apprentice would be.
She shrugs. She goes, "Well, I want to be noticed.
I understand.
I want to, be able to be there and talk to people. And I know I'm still small, but I just want to help.
All right.
If I'm good at listening. People, I don't know, maybe think I can't understand what's going on, but I understand what's going on. I'm very advanced in my letters.
I know. Right. Then perhaps you and I can spend more time together then, because I am very good at getting people to talk.
Could we maybe visit Mari more and maybe also visit Marjorie?
In Highgarden? Of course.
Like, I think I'd like that.
All right.
Marjorie listens too.
Then I think that would be excellent.
We talked about that actually.
Oh.
Yeah, that we want to help our house, and we both really believe in our brothers.
Then Tisea, I will say, you're already helping. You have made a friend, and you both listen and you converse with each other, and
She has very pretty hair.
She does, and so do you. And you're already having a goal to help your brother. You've begun what, women twice your age still don't know how to do.
She nods. Okay. All right. I think I'd like to go to bed now.
All right.
Like,
I'll carry her to bed.
oh. She goes, "Good night, mother. I love you."
I love you too, Tisea.
Oh, adorable. I think that's a great point for us to take our break.
I love her
We'll be
so
back
much.
We'll be back in 15 minutes. Get your bathroom, get your drinks on, all that good stuff. We'll see you back then. Until then, see you in a bit.